Ladies and gentlemen, I really want to start off this video with saying this. Over the last couple of days, Tesla has obviously fallen from $480 per share down to the 420s, but nothing has changed. I know this is kind of crazy for some people to hear. I know some people get so perma in their ways, perma bull, perma bear, and opening up to a new perspective or reevaluating the situation is difficult for a lot of people to do. If you are unable to do that, then you have two options here. You have the first option of never own a volatile stock like Tesla. That's number one, and hopefully you don't fall in that category. Number two, you have to learn to reevaluate things. You have to learn to accept that some things happen with very little correlation. Meaning this sell-off for Tesla stock, this really sell-off for the markets, has nothing to do with anything changing. It's just momentum has turned, volume is low, and we're heading into now the last 2 days of 2024. This most likely has little to do with anything that we will see in 2025. Now, it's actually pretty rare that you see markets sell off like this for very little reason. And for now, you can chalk it up to the end of 2024 because nothing has changed. When nothing has changed, I think we are presented with an opportunity, okay? We are presented with the ability to buy Tesla stock at cheaper prices. And I actually think at these levels is a very good price to buy Tesla. You're really hitting a volume shelf here where we've seen a spike in volume come in as Tesla broke previous all-time highs around 414, right? This whole area is really a volume shelf. And as long as we can hold support in this area, then we're good, right? Because a lot of people, traders, and a lot of even you guys, started buying Tesla again for the breakout of new all-time highs. As long as we stay above where a lot of people started buying Tesla again, most recently, again, this volume shelf here, then we're good from a tactical perspective, at least. Okay, if new information comes out, then obviously things could change here. But really, as long as we stay above that 415 level, we're doing pretty good. Okay, now your 20-day moving average is at 416.88. The low of the day today was 415.75. And you were only there for a couple seconds. You ended up bouncing from that level, which is, a little bit lower than where that 20-day moving average is, but you pretty much bounced at that 20-day moving average. So what we're seeing today is actually a pretty good sign heading into the end of this week. Tesla is up like 77% still from the election. Okay, if something really changed for Tesla, think about it like this. Tesla could fall 20, 30, 40% from here. Okay, a 20% fall from here would put Tesla back to about 340, which on election day, Tesla stock started the day at 275. Like even after we've already declined from our latest all-time high of 488 until now, you're still down 13.5%. So to really drop all the way back to like 335 would be a 32% fall. So if something changed, Tesla stock would not be holding support in the 420s. Tesla would be a lot lower than where it is today. And that's another really good exercise you can use specifically for Tesla after this large rally that we've seen to really build some confidence that nothing has changed. Okay, now could something change? Obviously. The big catalyst for Tesla is this upcoming Thursday. Now, depending on what delivery numbers are, that's going to be the next big moving catalyst for Tesla. If I'm correct and we come in around 535,000 deliveries, Tesla's stock is going to do very well. If we come in lower than consensus, which is currently roughly 510,000 deliveries, Tesla's stock is not going to do well at all. But really, even then, as UBS said today, Tesla deliveries matter a lot less this time around than they did before, because deliveries are not the big driver of Tesla at this point. It's deregulation, it's the Trump-Elon relationship, it is robotaxi and cheaper, lower priced Teslas coming next year. Those are really the big drivers of Tesla stock here. And nothing changed with any of those. Okay, we did not get a delay of cheaper Teslas. We did not get a delay of the robotaxi. We did not get a weakening of Trump-Elon relations, right? None of that has happened in recent days. Now, today we did get Chicago PMIs that came out. They came in way lower than expected, which caused 10-year Treasury yields to fall. You basically just went back to where we were of like Thursday of last week. Okay, which it doesn't mean anything, right? They're going up, they're going down. We're kind of in this range, and I don't think we can say that 10-year Treasury yields are the cause of this, because if they were, 10-year Treasury yields are falling today, you would expect the markets would be doing very well, and they're not. I think the bottom line is some repositioning that is taking place, some selling that's taking place to likely reposition back into markets even by Thursday and Friday of this week as you enter into 2025. Now, I don't think all areas of this market are going to benefit the same. I don't think big tech is going to benefit as much as the equal weight S&P, or as much as small caps or cyclicals or industrials. There's a much stronger bull thesis for those areas. Maybe even the AI appliers, right? Like a Tesla, like a MongoDB, Elastic, Snowflake, Palantir, than there is for, obviously, big tech. I am actually very bullish on Tesla. Now, again, as I said in the last video, if you do see Tesla fall below 516 or so, really it's around 515 is the key level here where you could start to see some aggressive downside. But your 20-day moving average at 416.91, you want to stay above that. But if we don't, then really like 415's the important level. Then things look good, right? And I want to explain this the best way I possibly can. But when you're thinking about the broader markets, okay, if markets rally, Tesla's likely to rally more. If the markets fall, Tesla's likely to fall more. And that is the beta that Tesla has. It's like 2x what the markets, 2, 3x, sometimes 4x what the markets do. So you're now at a place in markets where sentiment and positioning is extremely negative. Even though the S&P is not down much, okay, it's really not down much at all from all-time highs, positioning and sentiment are extremely negative. It's easier to see this in the RSP that is down about 7% from all-time highs. It's even easier to see this in the percent of stocks trading above their 50-day moving average at 30%. 70% of stocks are in an active and aggressive decline. Okay? Anytime you've gotten to a level like this, you have seen the S&P down 7 to 10% on a headline basis. You know, big tech has done better in recent weeks, so that has kind of held up the index. That's why I think there's some headline risk to the S&P as we start January, and more likely we get a broader based rally. But again, anytime you've been down here during a bull market, you need to be buying. Okay, now where do you want to buy? That's the question. I want to buy in Tesla because, again, Tesla has that beta, right? So if markets recover, broad markets start to do a little bit better. Maybe Thursday and Friday are better days as we get into the start of 2025. You start to see some tax loss harvesting coming to an end and some buying back of those positions that starts from there. Then you're going to see Tesla way outperform. And I even said this in the last video that Monday and Tuesday were a bit of a toss-up for Tesla because, and really for the markets, because it was the last 2 days of 2024. I specifically said, like I'll quote this here. We could see tax loss harvesting or last minute tax loss harvesters on Monday and Tuesday, or we could see the start of repositioning from those tax loss harvest, trades back into markets on Monday and Tuesday. It was really just a toss up. It becomes a little bit more clear, if you will, on Thursday and Friday because tax loss harvesting will officially be over. And I think there was a lot of tax loss harvesting really over the last 2, 3, 4 weeks here. Okay, now let's imagine Tesla deliveries come in good on Thursday and we get a broader market that starts to recover. Tesla stock could go much higher. Okay, and you don't really want to limit Tesla here. I mean, Tesla could go back to the 460s by the end of this week, which really is not that crazy. That's a like 8.5% rally from here. That seems very doable to me. Now, in the month of January, I think you're going to get a lot more positioning for 2025. As I've said here on this channel quite often, like maybe a little bit too much, Tesla is the top stock for next year, out of obviously large cap tech and the AI trade. Because again, it's going to switch from the AI enablers to the AI appliers, right? The AI enablers are NVIDIA, AMD, Dell, SMCI, the stocks that have done well with the AI trade so far. Okay, the AI appliers are your software stocks. They are your Teslas, Palantirs. Now, Palantir has done very well, but I think it's really going to broaden out to software and to Tesla even more. There's only so much priced into Tesla from AI, with the stock at a $1.4 trillion market cap, $1.3 trillion market cap. Like, sure, there's clearly some AI good news priced into Tesla, but in the 420s versus the 480s, you've kind of compressed that a bit. And I think you're going to continue to see a lot more repositioning into Tesla in January. And when the markets are this bearish, I don't think you want to bet against Tesla. Somebody in the trading community said this today, and I thought it was a great way of putting it. He said he's never once regretted buying Tesla stock at any price. He's always regretted selling Tesla at any price. Okay. I think that's a great way of putting it. And I think, depending on where you are, how much positioning you have, I bought more Tesla today just because I think it's quote unquote safer in 2025. I think a lot has to go wrong for Tesla to do poorly from here in 2025. I don't see it. I think things are going to do well for Tesla next year. Now, obviously, it's not a super cheap stock. It's going to grow into its valuation, especially once you start to look out to like 2026, 2027, 2028. That's where things get crazy. And Wall Street has done this for like NVIDIA now for the last 12 months, 18 months, where, people will say the stock's expensive, but if you look at 2028 earnings, it's cheap. Okay. If you start to see that happen for Tesla, that's where things get crazy. That's where you're looking at over $1,000 per share in the next 12 months. Like, things could get absolutely crazy if we start to kind of extrapolate what Tesla could look like in 2027 or 2028. Okay. But even without that, this stock looks really good here. Now, Tesla and Nvidia are the top traded stocks in the options market every single day. And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. Now, today is a very low volume day for the markets. It's a low volume sell-off, which these low volume sell-offs, they don't tend to last, especially when there's not a real catalyst behind them. Markets are just selling off because people are selling. There's not a reason why people are selling, or at least a focal point of why people are selling. It's not like we had jobs data that came out today, or CPI that came out today, or Fed speakers today, or bad earnings today. None of that happened. Nothing happened today. Even CNBC said, like in the last video I showed you guys, no apparent catalyst for the sell-off today. Today was a big sell-off for no apparent catalyst, okay, or no real reason. So I guess from that perspective, again, you really shouldn't change your perspective when there's not a reason why markets are selling off. Again, option activity was very low today across the board in markets. That is also true in Tesla relative to what we have seen recently. Today, you've seen 54 different trades totaling $43.05 million with a positive order value of 50%. Now, these numbers will finalize over the coming hours, but I mean, that doesn't look great. Okay, that's the lowest we've been at in a while, but we've kind of been trending lower. Friday, it was only 62% positive order value, and now today's 50%. I mean, the stock hit a very critical level today. It bounced. I'm not super shocked that the option activity is quite negative. You have, again, 2.89% short interest off your float, almost $35 billion sold short in Tesla, totaling 81 million shares that are currently sold short. And it looks like today you had about 415,000 shares that were sold short today. Now, as these short sellers continue to short more and more shares of Tesla, which looks like they are doing over the last 2 weeks or so, it creates what I believe will be an even larger short squeeze for Tesla. Now, does that happen in January? I don't know. Does that happen in February or March? I don't know. But I think it could be a progressive short squeeze kind of throughout next year, where Tesla has a lot more up days than down days. Okay, maybe not as aggressive as the period of, late November through December 17th, right? Where you kind of just went up like almost every single day. But I do think you are in the early innings of a larger rally to the upside. Okay. And I say early innings because I think Tesla's going much higher over time from here. And I don't think this is the time to freak out. I think at these levels, you have a very attractive entry point. The last time Tesla was at these levels, back here, December 20th, December 23rd, I said that if I had $10,000 to put into Tesla, I would feel comfortable putting half of that position into Tesla in the 420s. I said that, and then the stock went back to the 465s or so, almost 470s, right? Just within like literally the next day. I feel comfortable today putting half of my total allowance into Tesla at these levels because I think it's a great buying opportunity. Now, could the stock go lower? Yes. That's why I would want to keep some cash on the sidelines. But depending on your time horizon, I don't think it's too necessary. Now, that's obviously my opinion. This video is not personalized financial advice. Never invest money that you need, okay? Any invested money you invest should be money that you do not need, right? That is out of your reach for 5, 10 plus years. Right? You should never be pulling money in and out of markets. Like, just don't put the money in if you need to pull it out. Okay? Unless you have some kind of emergency situation, right? Then that's what it's for. So, yeah, sure. Could Tesla go lower? Of course. I don't think it's going much lower from here, though, if it does go lower at all. And that's why I'm making this video, because I think some people just get way too scared when things are coming down. And again, there's maybe a reason to get scared at some point down the line, but it's not today. Nothing is happening today. Nothing changed today. Nothing changed yesterday or the day before that, right? The same bull thesis is alive and well as it was when Tesla was at $488 per share. The only difference is people are not as convinced in that for no reason, right? So I continue to remain very bullish in Tesla. I continue to believe this is a great time to be adding to Tesla. As I said in the last video, as long as we don't have inflation that goes crazy and the Fed needs to think about raising rates, or as long as we don't have a recession on this side of the crazy spectrum, as long as we're somewhere between there, I think Tesla's alive and well. I think Tesla's business will continue to do well. There's no reason to suspect that it will not. And there's no reason to expect that the robotaxi will be delayed or the lower, cheaper price Tesla will be delayed. Literally nothing has changed. And I think short sellers at this point are getting way too confident that they have it figured out that Tesla's going lower. I think you could be in for a strong end of this week and a really good start of January. And I think that could start a larger trend of Tesla stock moving higher. And one would say just kind of a long-term short squeeze where shorts are slowly kind of getting squeezed out of short positions. Option activity and a gamma squeeze, that will likely come back. I don't know when. Tesla is always a highly traded stock, and that's in the options market, and that's why it's very volatile. And I don't think that is gone by any means either. Just putting a date on which, option activity is going to pick up again is kind of difficult to do. If I were to guess, probably Thursday and Friday, the first 2 days of 2025, but that's purely just a guess. So hopefully this kind of provides some clarity. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a financial planner. Tesla stock could fall to $200 per share. Anything could happen. And don't make short-term investments based on anything that I say in any of these videos. I think that goes without saying, but I'll say it again for anyone that does not understand. We have to be adults here. You're investing your hard-earned money. Make the wise decision. Okay, that's all I'm going to say here. I think the wise decision is buying Tesla on this pullback. But hey, that's my choice. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. If you guys want to see the trades that I am making, when I'm adding, when I'm reducing to, I've never sold Tesla, or at least not recently. A long time ago, I sold some Tesla, but essentially to make the position free. Haven't sold anything in a long time. If you guys want to see my positioning in Tesla, what I'm doing with the rest of my portfolio, check out that link down below for the trading community. Nonetheless, that is it. Enjoy the rest of your day and night. I will see you in the next one.